Am I the asshole for telling my family they need to get over my father walking me down on my wedding day, and I am not uninviting him? My father was absent for most of my childhood. I am the second oldest, and he split when I was around 7 years old. I have 3 other siblings, my older brother, my younger brother, and my youngest sister. Growing up, everyone in the family hated him. That includes me, especially my mother and youngest sister. My mother was not the best parent. She would be very verbally cruel. My trust in her is also gone due to her lying habit. My father reached out to me when I turned 18 to get coffee. He apologized to me and wanted to fresh start. I was hesitant at the beginning, but decided to forgive and move on. He reached out to the other kids when they turned 18, and they wanted nothing to do with him. That's their choice and right. He did explain why he left my mother, and I confirmed it with her. I am now 28, and I don't regret it at all. He has been a huge help and support to me over the years. My relationship with my mother has been getting worse over the years, especially since she hates my husband-to-be. She is very religious, and he is not. This is my problem. I invited my dad to walk me down my wedding. I want him at my wedding, and to be a part of it. My siblings and my mom are pissed. They told me that if I do this, they will not come to my wedding. They want him uninvited from the wedding, and that my mom should walk me down. I told them no. It resulted in an argument. I told them they need to get over it, and I am not inviting him. They said they will not come, and I told them that was fine. If your mother hates your husband, she really shouldn't be at your wedding anyway. He's reaching out as each child turns 18. That's a very specific pattern that says more about mom than dad. Not the asshole. Your wedding, your plan, your rules. He did explain why he left my mother, and I confirmed it with her. What's his explanation for abandoning his children? Sure, he explained why he left your mother, but why did he leave you and your siblings? Am I the asshole for not giving my sister money I've been saving, even though she already told our parents I would? I'm 24F and still living at home. I've been saving money for a few years, so I can eventually move out. I don't make a lot, so it's been slow and I've had to say no to a lot of things to build it up. My family knows I'm careful with money. My sister is 29 and has been having money problems for a while. She quit her job last year and has been picking up random work here and there, but nothing consistent. A few days ago, she came to me saying she needed help paying some bills. I told her I didn't really have money to spare. She then said she already told our parents that I'd help her. I was honestly caught off guard. When I said no again, she got upset and said I'm the only one with savings and that I can always save again later. Now my parents keep bringing it up. They aren't forcing me, but they keep saying things like I'm young, my sister is stressed, and family should support each other. The house has been awkward since then, and my sister barely talks to me. I feel bad because she's struggling, but I also feel like she assumed she was entitled to my money and didn't respect the effort it took me to save it. Am I the asshole for saying no? Not the asshole. Peak entitlement from your sister. Hold your ground if you say yes now. They're going to see you as a cash cow forever. Sounds like you need your savings, even more, so you can move away from these arseholes. And if your parents care so much they can stump up for your feckless sister. Not the asshole. If she likes money, she can seek steady employment. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my lottery winnings with my family, even though I used the family numbers? I, 22M, recently won a decent amount of money in the lottery. Not a massive jackpot, but enough to be life-changing for me. Pay off debts, buy a small apartment, and invest a bit. Now for the context. In my family, there's been an informal tradition for years. On my grandma's birthday, someone usually plays lottery numbers based on important family dates, birthdays, anniversaries, etc. Sometimes we play together. Sometimes everyone plays on their own. There has never been an explicit agreement that if someone wins, the money gets shared. It was always treated as a fun tradition. This time, I played alone with my own money, but I used those dates, to be specific: grandma's birthday day, month and year, my dad's birthday day, and the day and month I graduated. I won. When I told my family, at first it was all celebration. Then the comments started. These are family numbers. Without the tradition, you wouldn't have one. It would only be fair to share, even just a little. Some relatives are genuinely struggling financially, unemployment, debt. Others aren't. I told them I'm not going to split the prize because I paid for the ticket myself. There was never any agreement to share winnings. If I had lost, like I did many times before, no one would have reimbursed me. Money changes dynamics, and I don't want to become the family ATM. Not that I want enough to be called an ATM, but you get it. That said, I did offer to help in specific situations, like helping with a small debt once or twice, but not to divide the prize. This was seen as arrogant and selfish. One aunt even said I got rich off the family. Now part of my family isn't speaking to me, and they're treating me like I betrayed everyone. My parents are split. They say I'm technically right, but that sharing would avoid conflict. Am I the asshole for not sharing the winnings, even though I used numbers tied to my family? Edit. Why did I tell them in the first place? I didn't see winning as creating any obligation to split the money, so it honestly didn't occur to me that telling them would be an issue. I told them out of transparency, not to tease or mislead anyone. At the time, I genuinely expected them to be happy that the tradition worked for once, not to see it as something I owed them. I would have told them regardless, even if the numbers had been completely random. Now, after this whole thing, and reading some of the comments, I'm not so sure I would. Should have kept your mouth shut. Stop telling people your financial business. Maybe give everyone $5. Not the asshole, but if you didn't plan to share the wealth, why did you tell them? The cardinal rule is keep mum about it, or massively downplay how much you won. Am I the asshole for not seeing my parents' country as home? I, 28 male, have lived in the UK since I was 5 when my father got offered a job here with his company. This was meant to only be for a few years, but we ended up living here for most of the next 13 years, with my family moving home when I was 18. I'd already applied to university here, so I stayed in the UK and then got a job here when I graduated. I never thought this was overly strange. I have my British passport, don't have an accent, and culturally feel British. I occasionally visit my parents' home country, more so at the start, but COVID and work have got in the way of visiting more than once a year, normally for Christmas or a family event. This year my girlfriend flew out for a couple of weeks after Christmas to meet my parents for the first time. We've been dating for 4 years, but this was the first time my parents met her. We were talking about plans for the future and mentioned knuckling down and saving to buy a house in the next few years. I think this flicked a switch in my mom's head. The next day she started asking me about when, not if, I planned to move home. We ended up having a row, the gist of which was her being upset that I see myself as British and don't see her country as home. My point of view was surprised that this was news and being annoyed that she was upset with me. It was a fairly short conversation, and it was never brought up again for the next few weeks. After arriving back in the UK, I called my dad to let him know I'd made it home. This set him off, telling me I was in a hole for saying this and what I'd put my mother through. We haven't spoken much since, and other members of my family have been in touch to ask why I've been upsetting them. Am I the asshole for not seeing my parents' country as home? Edit. Hadn't initially wanted to add this, but someone was worried about me being on or killed if I returned to visit my parents again, so I should state that the home country is Australia. They took you from their home country for over a decade and are now surprised you have acclimated and assimilated. Strange. Not the asshole. Home is where you make it, not where you are from. Not the asshole. I see this with so many of my friends who are first generation in the country I live in. They don't see their parents' country of origin as their home. They feel here is their home, and it does cause rifts.